All right, hello everyone. You guys are welcome back. In today's class, I'm going to show us how to draft a pattern on corset blouse. It's going to be a tip corset blouse. So this is I'm cutting the front part. So now I'm just marking the under bust, then the waistline. The waistline is 16, the under bust is 13, then the bust point is 9.5. So this is it. This is my waistline. Then this is my under bust. Then this is my bust point. So now, when you're cutting a corset, we have different methods. There are different methods you can use to get it. So whichever one that works for you, just make use of it. Don't say, this is how somebody did it. No, 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 no. You can do whatever method. You can use whatever method in as much as it's working for you. So now this is my upper bust. So what I do here to get this upper bust is whatever you have between your bust point and your under bust, just mark it at the upper part to get this your upper bust. So now you go back to your bust point, then take your bust span measurement, that is nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. I have 4.5 here. So I go to my under bust, then I remove half of an inch from that one. So I'm going to mark 4 here. I'm going to mark 4 inches. Then you go to the down part, then you're going to measure 3 inches. Mind you, you can measure 2.5 or 2 inches at that down part. So that 3 inches works too. So now this is it. So just connect to this your bust span. Then you can go up straight. Just like I said, if you're cutting the corset, we have at least about 3 methods you can use. You can use princess that method. You can use shoulder that method. Then you can use the straight, the normal straight bustier cut method for corset. So either of the 3 will work. So in case if you're seeing this and it's not going in line with the one you've watched, and maybe probably they didn't use this pattern, so don't get confused. We are still going to arrive at the same place. So here, depending on how busty, so I'm using 2.5 inches. Using 2.5 inches. Meanwhile, this 2.5 inches is not constant. You can decide to use 3 inches. You can decide to use 3.5. You can decide to use 2 inches depending on how busted the person is. The person you're sewing for, depending on how busted the person is. So this is it. You have your bust curve. You can make use of it. I prefer using my free hand. So this upper bust area, so I'm going to measure the same 1.5 inch. So if you like, you just go this way. If you like, you go straight. If you like, you go straight. If you like, you just go, that's from this place, you just bend it that way. The yoke part, I'm still going to cut it off. So now you're going to cut out. You're going to cut out the pattern. Just follow it slowly. You're going to get it. It's not something difficult. Don't allow anyone to make corset looks difficult for you. So now you're just going to place this. Just place it so that we can take our body measurement. Don't mind the shoulder parts. You can still drag them together and make them equal. So bust measurement divided by 4, then waist measurement divided by 4. I'm not really going to make use of the under bust measurement. So the hip measurement divided by 4. You had your sewing allowance. this is the hip. The hip is 47, then the waist is 32. So now, just in case you want it to have yoke, just drag it together like this. Then you take your shoulder measurement. Shoulder measurement 16 divided by 2, which is 8. Then your armhole circumference length measurement is 7 inches. Your armhole length measurement is 7 inches, so that's it. So now you have your armhole curve ruler. You can still make use of it. Just like I said, I'm used to freehand because I won't be making a reed race and I'll start carrying ruler up and down to curve the armhole and all that. So you just have to get used to the freehand. If the pattern, if the rulers works for you, no problem. So now this is it. You bring them together like this. So now I want to trim out the neckline. I'm using 8 inches. Your own can go down as deep as 9 inches or probably 10 inches depending on how deep. So just measure 1 inch here. I allowed it to have a shoulder because in case you want it to have yoke, but this particular style I'm cutting doesn't have a yoke. So but should in case you want yours to have a yoke, that is why I had to cut it all together with the shoulder so they can see the process. So now this one can just serve as your yoke. This one is going to serve as your yoke. So I'm going to keep this aside because I'm not making use of it. If not, I can just possibly just start with after taking off the neckline, then I'll just start my measurement. But because of this yoke, for the purpose of this yoke, I had to go all through like that. So now, in order to cut out this cup area, I'll just show you the measurements you use. But even me without using the measurement, you can see how it is. Just going to draft it out like this. Or probably use a bra cup. Place your bra cup the way you want it to be. So here 2.5. In case you don't want to use bra cup, then 2.5. Just place on that angle, then this front angle, then here 1.5. It actually guides you how to curve a very nice, how to cut out a very nice cover there. Or probably just get a bra cup, place it the way you want it to be, then you mark it out. But I think this one is better. So this is going to be for the cup. So I'm going to keep that aside. So now this, I will just use my tape to gum this together, to glue it together, so that I'll be able to shape the down part. Then I will be able to cut it into how many pieces we want. One thing about corset is that the moment you cut the basic body, you can manipulate whatever you want to manipulate there. But meanwhile, whatever you are cutting, whatever you are slicing there, when you're cutting it back, you have to add joining allowance, that is sewing allowance. So this is the down part. You can decide to curve this down part whichever way you want, whatever shape you want. Don't make it look scary. Just get the basic cutting. Then after that, you can manipulate. Just like 5.5 inches. Then I just curve to that side and I curve to the hip area again. So just like I said, you can decide to do whatever you want with it. So now I'm going to slice this into like 4 pieces. So now you can start doing your plus and minus. So here now just measure about 2.5, then here probably 1, or 1.5, either 1 or 1.5. Then you start slicing your pattern. You slice it to the numbers of pieces you want. So now I'm still going to cut again. So the distance I have here, I'm still going to maintain the same distance, 2 inches. So you're still going to cut this. So I'm still going to add one. If you like, you can stop. Then if you like, you can still add one. Just like this. Okay, now this is going to be into about 5 pieces. So meanwhile, when you cut it and you want to place it on the fabric, you are going to add sewing allowance on the both sides. That is going to be a half inch on both sides. So this is it, cutting the back. Cutting the back. Let it rhyme, let it tally with that armhole where your armhole stops. Let it end there. So this back part, you can also follow the same shape for this down part. Also follow the same shape, or maybe probably just follow a different shape entirely. Just cut out a different shape entirely. The shape can still be sharper than this because we have different method, different kind of corset everywhere. So everybody's just, you understand, adding their own ideas. So creating the loop at the back, just measure 4 inches at the upper part, then the down part 3 inches. It's not constant. It can be 4 it can be 5 it can be 3 depending on the kind of shape you want. So it doesn't have a standard measurement. So meanwhile, this is where your eyelet is going to be. So now the same thing you did on the front part, you can see decide to slice this into your desired pieces. So this one is going to be into 4 also. Going to have 4 pieces here also. So now I'm going to cut them out so that you see what I'm talking about. I'm going to cut them out. So you label it so that you don't get confused. You're just going to label it like this. Even after when you transfer it on the fabric and you gum it, still make sure you label it with your pen so that you won't mix it up. Because if you mix them up, it's not going to give you the exact shape you cut there. Just nudge this upper part so that you know that is the area you are joining together. Nudge the upper part so that you won't turn it upside down. So that's that about this. So this is what I'm saying. You're going to add allowance on the both side when you're transferring it to the main fabric. Because if you don't add your sewing allowance, by the time you join them together, it's going to short off the measurements. So the same way you are going to label this so that you don't get confused. Make sure you add your allowance on both sides. If not, you are not going to have up to your normal body measurement if you join it back. So you're going to nudge this upper part so that you know where to attach. The numbering is very important. I think that is the most important thing when you're cutting pieces like this so that you won't mix them up. So now we're done with the body. So now, just like I said in each level, this is your bra cup cover. You are going to, this is the bust cover. It's either whether you're using a bra cup or maybe you're just using a wording. The person is an oversized bust. You can decide to manipulate this whichever way you want. See, I'm marking to 2 inches. At the upper part, I want to turn it into 3 pieces instead of 4. I'm going to turn it into 3 instead of 4. So I measured to 2 inches at the upper part. So now after that, you're still going to label this one 2, then 3. You're going to label it like this. You know, this pieces I'm trying to achieve here is not really necessary, just like I said, depending on how you want to manipulate your bust cover. So now you can cut it into any pieces you want, but just remember that you are definitely going to add allowance when you're cutting on the main fabric, so that by the time you join back, it will not reduce the measurement. I'll just glue this together a bit. So I'm just going to cut it out to make it one piece, a single piece. Just cut it out to make it a single piece. So this is it. You don't really need this again, so this is it. So when you join this one together, then this one is going to be at the upper part. I'm going to relabel it again. So these two pieces are the down part. If you like, you can still pieces them. You can still pieces them again. Maybe each one of them can still go into 2 pieces again. But mind you, when you're joining on the fire, when you're transferring into the fabric, you are going to add allowance. Don't forget to add allowance. And you can decide to just leave it this way. Just like I said, you can still slash into 2. If you still want it to have joining, it's still going to be fancy that way. So you still want to pieces it, then it will still be fancy that way. Then that's that about pattern drafting. Thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to share and subscribe. See you in my next video.